What is up, everybody? We are rolling out of here today on a special version of the Hodder Show I like to call the Hodder Show Rewind. Now, I don't have a brand new episode for you here today. Just got a lot of crazy things going on in life right now. Just to be straight up, everything's groovy, but just some crazy stuff going on. So I'm doing things a little unorthodox here this week, and I'm bringing you a very fun Hodder Show Rewind in which I take you guys back about 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. 2018. Sorry, it took me a minute there to figure out how long ago was 2018. I almost said 5 years. Yeah, it wasn't 5 years. It was 3 years ago. To episode 156 of the Hodder Show. Just over 3 years ago, back in March of 2018, in which I sit down with my man John Ward from Nothing Serious to discuss some Family Guy fan theories. Basically, we had a list of 16 fan theories from Reddit and from different websites compiled by the website Ranker, and we started discussing it via text because we're both huge Family Guy fans, and we were just like, yo, let's just do a podcast on this. And I had kind of forgotten about this podcast until it came up in my memories a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I want to do this for the next Hodder Show Rewind because it's such a cool episode and something really different. I kind of was in the mood to do a fun conspiracy theory-ish topic, so I was like, you know what, this is absolutely perfect. And of course, anything involving John Ward is just fun. It was back in the day when we could do things in person too, so it was really fun. It's a great episode. I hope you guys enjoy it. I know I enjoyed listening back to it the other day when it popped up in my memories. And before we jump in, I want to give a humongous shout out actually to Anchor, who are the service that I use to upload my podcast onto the internet. They've been fantastic from day one, but right now I am actually recording this on the Anchor app, and I've used the Anchor app to put this podcast together. So things are a little different than what we normally do here on the Hodder Show. But big shout outs to Anchor because it's really coming through for me right now, so I can make sure I have at least some kind of content for you guys this week, and then I'm not just saying there's no new episode. So big shout outs to Anchor. Go ahead and check it out, anchor.fm, if you would like to create a podcast. Guys, it is so easy. I am literally on a headset mic right now doing this. It is so easy. So big shout outs to Anchor, as well as humongous shout out to my friends over at Mean Beard for keeping my beard feeling and looking fantastic. meanbeardco.com. Use my code MB15TJH, all uppercases, if you would like to buy some fantastic beard products. And of course, shout out to my man, Mr. Jason from JBeard Digital Arts, and everyone else who supports this podcast. Thank you guys so very much. I'm going to leave in the ads that I did back in the day for not only for JBeard Digital Arts, but also for a headphone company, because I think it was really fun, those ad reads. So I'm going to go ahead and leave them in. But without further ado, we're going to jump into this Hodder Show Rewind back to episode 156 with my man, Mr. John Ward, and I discussing some Family Guy fan theories. Let's go back in time. Alright, so we're here in the studio, aka my basement apartment, which I haven't done that for a while, so I figured I'd do it, with my good man, Mr. John Ward.
Hi.
What's going on, man?
Nothing.
It's way too early to be doing a podcast.
Yep.
Even though it's like what, like 9:40 in the morning, but it's too freaking early for us to be doing a podcast.
I mean, I have been here since
yeah, you've been here since like 8:45.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been one of those mornings here at Hodder Show Studios. But how you doing?
Not bad.
Yeah,
living the dream.
Yeah,
like always.
I hear you.
Haven't been on the show for a while, so
figured it was hot time to make it happen.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking about this one for a while, so
we've literally been like, because we're both huge Family Guy fans, and I think out of everyone I know, you're probably either equally or let's say as big of a Family Guy fan as me, because I don't know anyone who's a bigger Family Guy fan than me. You might be. I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, I've binge watched it so many times, so
like I watch it every day, and then like I was like, I watch it when I go to bed at night. And you were like, so do I, and I was like, oh my god. And like every time I quote Family Guy, like, you know what I'm talking about, and I'm like, cool.
Yep. I've seen every episode like 50 times, so
we know Family Guy inside and out. And I thought it'd be interesting because I was like,
the last few episodes of the show, like I've really been enjoying it and it's been a lot of fun, but I did that conspiracy theories episode and it was a lot of fun and it was actually really well received. People were like, dude, it was really cool to hear you talk about like the hollow earth theory and like all this shit that like the reptilian people and all this just crazy stuff that I think is just ridiculous and it's way out there. But then they're like, but then to hear someone who clearly states in the beginning of the podcast, I am not a conspiracy theorist, even in the slightest. I don't believe most of it. But maybe JFK's assassination was planned. Maybe the reptilian people are actually true in here. I don't know. I don't have all the facts. But from my point of view,
the Jedi are evil.
That you truly are lost. Anakin, I have the high ground. You underestimate my power. Don't try it. You can't see it, but John just did a flip up. Cut him off. I was thinking we're probably gonna go off on a bunch of shit.
Actually, cool. this is actually kind of on topic. Have you ever seen the interview with the guy that voices like Pinky from Pinky and the Brain?
Yes.
And then with Seth Green, Seth Green, yeah, doing Chris Griffin's voice. You underestimate
against me. And then he starts laughing so hard. It's Chris Griffin playing evil Anakin. Oh no, you are the one who is lost, Anakin.
Narf.
Narf. Narf. It's just like we're 3 minutes in and I got the famous John laugh. I'm so happy. Only a Jedi speak. Only a Sith speaks in absolutes. Narf. And you are my enemy. It's so good. I love it so much. But I saw a meme and it was it was like kind of a comic. And it was Darth Vader and Palpatine's like they were like arguing. And he was like, no, you don't understand. Wait, I'm thinking of a different meme. Sorry. I was thinking of it was a meme of Obi-Wan and Anakin in the elevator talking. Mm-hmm. And Obi-Wan's like, yeah, so anyway, he was above me and I flipped up high and totally cut him in half. And Anakin was like, I'll remember that. And there's a picture of Obi-Wan going, you better not try it. And then it cuts to them, their battle, and he's like, this motherfucker. Like, and how come it worked for you, but not me? So good. I love it so much. Yeah, but that's that thing he did where they did those voices. Like that was just too much. Like Seth Green is an amazing voice actor. I don't think he gets enough credit for how good he actually is.
Yeah. Well, he does like almost all the voices on Robot Chicken. So
Chicken. How's it feel to be on a network television show for 5 minutes? Screw you. Anytime Robot Chicken is on, it makes me so happy. Because my buddy who I do the other podcast with, he does a really good like drunk Boba Fett from Robot Chicken. Anyway, I gotta get the best of me. Thermo detonator. He does a really good drunk Boba Fett. And I was like, this just makes me so happy. But we are here today because we are going to talk about Family Guy. More specifically, on the topic of talking about conspiracy theories and all that kind of bullshit. Family Guy fan theories.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is going to be the darkest episode of the Hodder Show ever, Morty. And of course, what I'm referring to is there is a list that was made by Ranker. Yes, by Ranker. Ranker.com for this list. Total Nerd Ranker. I don't know what it is. I randomly saw it, and it was Family Guy fan theories so crazy they might be true. And there's 16 of these. I thought there was 10 up until 5 minutes ago because it didn't load properly for some reason. The first 10 times I looked at this list, but for some reason now it's loaded properly. Anyway, so I was like, oh, like this is really cool. And I started picking through it. And then I think I messaged you and I was like, dude, check out this list. And you're like, yeah, I've seen it. And like we started talking about it. I was like, wait, stop. Let's do a podcast. Yeah. Because everything is a podcast, obviously, with me.
Do you think that we should start on 16? Because I think that like number one's the best.
The best one? So you want to start backwards?
Yeah.
I'm for it.
Because that's what I think that they do on Ranker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because number one was the first one on this list, but I kind of agree with you.
Yeah, I feel like
I think number one's the best one.
Yeah. If any of them are true, I feel like that one would be, and it's probably the coolest.
Yeah, because I think we're on the same page with a lot of this. But what I'll do is I'll read off the theory, and then I will kind of dive into the actual blurb that they have here on their website. So all the credit for this goes to Ranker, and for the fans who ended up coming up with these theories. None of these are our theories, even though, I think everyone can agree that a lot of these theories are pretty, like,
Out there.
anyone could have. Well, a couple of them are really out there, but a couple of them I feel like anyone could have thought of, and I don't even feel like they're fan theories. I feel like they're just true.
Yeah.
So fan theories, conspiracy theories behind Family Guy, kind of go hand in hand, I think. But the first one that we have here is Meg is Stewie's biological mother. Reddit user Nathan Jackson 1996 lays out a rather convincing argument that Meg could be Stewie's mother. Lois and Brian conspired to hide the teen pregnancy. I don't know why it's worded like that. Peter and Chris are far too stupid to figure it out, so it's plausible. Or at least it was plausible until episode 11, episode 4, Yug Ramley, which is the backwards episode. Stewie's time machine is broken and time begins to flow in reverse. Stewie is unborn, getting stuck back in Lois's tummy, or wherever babies come from. Whoever wrote this article needs to learn proper grammar. Holy shit. Another user points out that Family Guy continually is all kinds of messed up. So it's still possible, but just not likely. So basically what this guy is saying that is Stewie is indeed Meg's child.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring up, because I think that the only like 10 of them actually loaded for me when I first saw them. So I think that they got added afterwards.
I feel like they've gotten added or something.
Yeah, so I know that I was actually going to bring that up before you said that was the episode where, like the backwards episode, where they, where the time machine breaks and they get stuck in backwards time.
Well, it's like, there's been a couple of times throughout Family Guy where it seems convincing. Like, I can't remember what episode it was, but Lois talks about Meg having a kid. I don't remember what episode it is.
I don't know, but then there's also the episode where Meg gets the job at the restaurant.
Yes,
and
that was my next one I was gonna bring up, yeah.
Yeah, and then
you and I are on the same wavelength.
And then she ends up trying to get like a, what was it, Prada bag?
Yeah.
And then she ends up bringing Stewie to work that one day because she had to babysit, and then she ended up getting like so much money in tips. So I don't know, kind of, it's definitely,
I can see maybe why he would think that, but I think that's a little bit of a stretch.
yeah. I mean, like I could see it being there, but like I don't know, I don't believe that one.
Yeah, I think that one's a little outrageous. So we're gonna at the end of each one we'll give it either a
True or untrue.
true or I was gonna try and think of something really smart, but I was gonna try and like incorporate nothing serious into it somehow or something, but I'm not gonna be able to do it. Anyway, so we're gonna go with a false for that one. That was
Yeah.
That gets a thumb down from us. The next one, this one's actually one of my favorites. I love it so much. Joe Swanson was the Tick. This one's pretty adorable. Reddit user Mr. D's 444 post-its. Wow, this is bad. That Joe was the superhero known as the Tick before he became the Griffin's neighbor. Now his argument is a little blogged because he kind of argues that he's also still the Tick and that the suit cures his paralysis while he wears it. Then, of course, there's the fact that Patrick Warburton played the Tick in the 2001 live-action show, which hilariously was actually on Fox. So basically what this guy says is that Joe Swanson was the Tick. And his main evidence is that he was on the live-action show. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That one was a lot more of a letdown than I thought it would.
Yeah.
But basically what he's saying, I feel like we're going to have to like elaborate on these a lot more. I thought there was more writing on these. But basically from what I'm saying is this guy, I could probably just click on the things and read what the guy has to say, I guess. But basically what he's saying is that Joe Swanson is the Tick, and that obviously he can no longer be the Tick, but Patrick Warburton was the Tick, so therefore Joe Swanson's the Tick.
Yeah, it might make a bit more sense why, like, because the episode where they find out why Joe's paralyzed when like when he was chasing that, like, I'm just going to call it the Grinch.
It was the Grinch, yeah.
Yeah. And then I couldn't see like I mean, I guess in like police movies and stuff, you can see them like chasing after like bad guys like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like he's doing some pretty like
elaborate shit.
Yeah, and like I don't know, and then he falls off the building, right? And
that's what paralyzes.
Yeah.
Well, unless you actually episode I'm not see this is why I'm not good with this kind of shit, because I can't remember episode names and numbers, but it's one where Joe they finally catch the guy Briggs
Mm-hmm.
the shirt, I remember his first name, notorious for always wearing a shirt during all of his crimes, makes me so happy, where you find out that Joe actually got paralyzed when he got shot in the spine by the guy.
Oh yeah.
But Joe himself, I feel when he was a cop and when he first started in the show, was a bit delusional. And then now the Joe we're seeing is the real Joe Swanson. Now he's not delusional. So maybe he was the Tick. Because the Tick is such a delusional character. I'm going to save these people. I haven't seen the Tick in freaking years, but
I don't think I've ever watched it.
It's because then now they have the remake of it.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. It's a pretty good show. Just a really over the top superhero, basically.
Oh, okay.
Who's like not actually that great of a superhero, but it's funny. So I don't know. I can kind of buy that. Maybe. What do you think? True or false?
I mean, like, I never really watched The Tick. I was just trying to think of like how it could like on like the TV show. So I'm gonna say false for this one.
Yeah. We'll go with false because I can. It seems a little out there, but it's just still an interesting thought.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the number one evidence this guy has is that Patrick Warburton was the Tick. That's like saying Joe Swanson's also
Kronk from
Kronk from Emperor's New Groove, which is like one of my favorite movies of all time. Anyway, this is now turning into a Emperor's New Groove topic. Now, the next one we have is, and this one's really interesting, and you had a really good point on this actually. Meg's future self, Ron, will eventually replace her on the show. So when Stewie travels to his future self, Stu, into the future in the episode Stu and Stewie's Excellent Adventure, he meets the new Meg, who has undergone a sex reassignment surgery and is now Ron. Courtney Ellen hypothesizes that Ron will actually become a character on the show during its run. The only issue with this theory is that she says Meg will be killed off and replaced by Ron, which that doesn't make any sense right off the bat, because Ron is Meg, Meg is Ron. She would just get a sex change and be Ron.
No.
Not to mention,
unless she does get killed off and they adopt another kid,
or maybe like Stewie could like go to the future. Like, but that doesn't make any sense. Maybe they adopt a kid. They adopt a kid named Ron,
and then it just ends up being like Meg, and they treat
Ron
Meg.
like Meg. They adopt a teenager whose name's like Ronald or something, and then they're like, "You're Ron now." That'd actually be kind of funny.
Yeah, that would be.
You're Ron now. We call you Meg. My name is Ron. We get it, Ron. You're a guy. I have to go shave my beard. Yeah, that's. I thought that was really funny when I read it, because I was like, really, like, but in some ways, a move like that for Family Guy wouldn't surprise me at this point.
No, especially with like when they killed off Brian for like the few episodes, and then they brought in what was the Italian dog's name?
Vinny.
Yeah,
I'm a pussy hound. Oh my god, that's awesome. Yeah, this means I'm half cat. Oh, I wish you wouldn't have told me that.
But yeah, like, I mean, maybe they'll do something like that. Maybe they won't. But like, I definitely see it in the future of Family Guy. So either that or they try and, because they're supposed to be like a modern day family, right? So maybe they're trying to open up. They might try and open up to like the LGBTQ community and have a transgendered person in the show.
Oh, totally. I can totally see that happening. Well, not to mention like when they did the Emmy Award winning episode. Do you see that one? It's on the new series.
I don't think I've seen the new
New season. It's like on like right now. I'll try not to spoil the episode, but basically what they do is they're trying to win an Emmy because they never won an Emmy. So they make fun of all the different shows on television, and they make fun of Modern Family, and like, you know, Peter's like and there's another show where they make fun of, I don't know what the show is, but like Peter, like basically he's going to undergo a sex change, but he doesn't actually. And he's like, applaud me for my courage and like all this stuff. And it's over the top, but like they're showing that, yeah, they'll still make fun of like that community and stuff like that, but like it's in a way that's like they would, like, people who have a good sense of humor in that community would be like, oh, ha ha ha, that's funny, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I could see them eventually going that route,
kind of like what they did with that American Dad episode that before the podcast when me and you were talking about, when Stan tries to experiment with being gay.
I'm choosing to be gay. Why am I not enjoying this? Stan, you're not gay. But I'm choosing to be gay. Gay isn't a choice. It's not. And then it was like this, and like literally, like I was sitting with Sam, and Sam was like, "That's so like offensive and stupid." I'm like, "But you're not getting it. What he's saying is, as a total right wing nut job Republican, he's now saying that he understands. Wait a minute, gay isn't a choice. These people don't choose to be like this. It's just how they're wired." Then he tells all his Republican buddies at the convention, and they're all like, oh. Then they're like, but Democrats choose to be Democrats. We have to all focus our hate on them. And yeah. So it's like, they've already, Seth MacFarlane as a creator and then their writing staff, they've already done this before where they've kind of poked fun, but like in a way that like for more intelligent people like myself and you will understand, okay, they're not making fun of it. They're providing real commentary and a really good point while making us chuckle.
Exactly.
Because it's so stupid, but it's funny. But then like Stan Smith now understands that gay people, it's not a choice. Exactly. And they welcome them into their world. And they're like, oh, that's so offensive. I'm like, isn't that the whole point? That's all the community wants, is to be accepted. Okay, come on in. You're accepted now.
Exactly.
Everyone's happy. So I could see that happening. I really could. However, true or false, I don't know. I could really see this happening eventually. I don't know if it would happen the way that this person thinks it will.
Yeah, I don't think that. I mean, like, I wouldn't put it past like the Family Guy writing team, but like to kill off Meg and then.
Yeah, I don't think that's how it'll happen.
No, I think that maybe. I mean, depending on how long the show ends up running for, right? Because at this point, I feel like it's going to be like another Simpsons.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And eventually they're going to have to do that. So,
yeah. So I think we'll go with false.
But then again, they never. Nobody ages in the show, though, right?
Yeah.
So maybe not. I don't know. Maybe a false. I don't know, because no one ever ages in that show.
This is too intense for my life.
I know.
Let's go with false because we're dancing back and forth, but. Let's go with a maybe.
Yeah,
let's go with a maybe, perhaps.
If they decide to make them start to age, then yes. If they don't, then no.
Yeah. So let's go with a maybe.
Yeah.
Let's go with a maybe. Now, this one is literally the stupidest thing I've ever heard. This is just someone who clearly wants to. This is basically like fan fiction for Family Guy, but it's real life fan fiction, and it's really stupid. But I'm going to read it anyway. So the Zerocrat, theorizes that Seth MacFarlane has a crush on Alex Borstein. For those of you who are not familiar, which I'm sure you are if you're listening to this podcast, Seth MacFarlane is the creator of Family Guy and also voices Brian, Stewie, and Peter, among tons of other characters. Alex Borstein voices Lois and also a ton of other characters. So basically what this person is saying is that Seth MacFarlane voices Brian, Peter, how did I forget Quagmire, and Stewie.
I didn't actually know that he voiced Quagmire.
Yeah, it's Quagmire. Yeah, it's in a window this time. It's all Seth MacFarlane.
I didn't know that he did Quagmire.
He does literally the 4 of the best characters on the show. Mm-hmm. He's a very talented voice actor.
They're so different too. Like,
have you ever seen a video of him doing the characters in real life going back and forth? It is like even just watching him do Peter and Stewie back and forth is so impressive. Mm-hmm. It's like, I mean, it's just like watching my god, who is the voice for Rick and Morty? Oh my god, I'm drawing a blank right now. Zach would kill me. Zach, who's the voice for Rick and Morty? I know you're listening. Tell me. Send me your powers through the computer. Never mind. I don't remember right now. I'm totally drawing a blank. I feel like such a dick right now. So I love that show. Anyway, but it's like you watch them go back and forth. It's so entertaining. But so basically, I'm not going to read the rest of it because it's just kind of stupid. It talks about like Stewie wanting to kill Lois because he basically it proves itself wrong. So I don't even know why they include it. What do you think? Is Seth MacFarlane actually in love with it because of all these characters are in love with her?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's just I think it's just like the luck of the draw, I guess. I don't know. Because like look at like the female characters on Family Guy, right? There's Lois. There's what's
Meg.
Yeah. What's
If you want to count Meg.
Ron?
Ron, who's Ron now?
What's Joe's wife's name? I don't even know why I'm drawing
Bonnie.
a blank. Oh,
Bonnie.
yeah, Bonnie. And
Bonald. Joe, I told you, when we're alone, you can call me Bonald. Is that your name?
Yeah, but like those are like the only female characters.
And then there was Loretta,
Yeah, but like
but she's gone now. And then there's his new wife's name. Heather. I remember her name.
Donna.
Donna, that's it.
Yeah.
What's your name? Chubbs or what was it? What does Peter call her? I don't remember. He's just this really funny name for her that he always calls her. I can't remember her name.
Mm-hmm.
But and then there's like Trisha Takanawa.
Yeah.
Tom, I'm standing here on your deck. And I don't know. I think it's a little ridiculous to think that if someone out there actually thinks that Seth MacFarlane is secretly in love with Alex Borstein, and that's why he wrote all the characters to love her, even though I feel like he probably didn't write all those characters to love her, except for Peter.
Yeah.
Ryan. Because he's not the main writer on Family Guy. He hasn't been for years.
Mm-hmm.
He has writers. So I'm going to go with false for that one. I feel like that one's a little ridiculous.
Same.
I don't really want to spend any more time on that one. But interesting thought, I guess. Because there's always those fan fictions out there. I mean, for God, there's probably a fan fiction about me and you at this point. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
And as they sat in the basement recording the podcast.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
That's it. He knew he couldn't resist it any longer. It's like, what? There's some fucked up shit out there, dude. Haha. Anyway, we'll talk about our fan fiction another time. So the next one here, this one's actually really freaking sad.
Oh, is it the dark one?
Yeah, this is like the dark one. It's all in Peter's head.
Oh.
So, B blank 0308, his theory, it's crazy, but it kind of is like, okay. Basically, he says that the events of Family Guy are all in a grieving Peter's imagination. Why are you grieving, you may ask? Because Chris and Meg died in a car accident and a pregnant Lois committed suicide. As a result, Peter is pushed into insanity where he imagines the world of Family Guy. Which is why there's all this outrageous shit can happen. Stewie can talk and he has a weird British accent. His dog can talk. You can do anything you want in Family Guy. And next week, it's all settled.
Exactly. Except Brian's death for the few episodes. But I don't know.
Which you could imagine that.
Yeah. But I don't know. I could definitely see it. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But I don't think that they've actually touched on any topic like that.
No.
And it's just really, like, it's really out there, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know.
It's kind of, I feel like it's kind of grasping at straws, but like, it is an interesting thought.
Yeah, definitely.
It would explain why all this, Peter could literally be beat half to death and still survive.
Yeah, or like the episode that they're making fun of Jackass.
Yeah.
And he falls off the roof and his neck.
Oh my God! How do I fix this? Is it heat that ice? Ice first, heat later. This is Cleveland. I can't do Cleveland, but yeah, like it does explain a lot.
Yeah,
but it's a little out there, I think, for me. But it's people just like to theoreticize. That's too big of a word for me. Like really dark shit all the time.
Yeah.
There's a name for those kind of people. I can't remember what it is. They always like see darkness in everything. It doesn't matter what it is. That's it. Pessimist. Not darkness, but like they always can see.
Yeah.
Oh, here's why this is going to fail. And here's 10 reasons why this is a bad idea. And it's like, bro, like I'm just going to go get a coffee. Here's 10 reasons why that's a bad idea. Oh, okay.
I'm going to get up today.
I'm going to get up today. That's a bad idea, bro. You can walk outside and a plane could fall on you. Well, I mean, shit. Yeah, it could, but you know.
Probably something that would happen in Family Guy.
Yeah, it would. And Peter
Copter.
To the Peter Copter. I love the to the Hendon Peter. It's a fucking, oh my God, Joe, I'm so sorry. How could you afford these things? So happy. I love that I'm able to quote Family Guy all I want in this episode.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with a false for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's just a little ridiculous. Hey, gang, just going to jump in here for a second because I want to tell you guys a little bit more about the headphones that I'm currently wearing. Now, we heard all about the company studio, but what about the headphones that I'm specifically wearing on my head? Well, these bad boys are their Regent model, which is the premium on-ear model. Now, these headphones have impeccable clarity with instrumental tones and are very well balanced. Now, I know what you're thinking. TJ, you're a podcaster. What do you think of these headphones and the standpoint of recording audio and listening back to audio that is not music related? Honestly, I love these headphones. I don't think I've ever sounded better than I do on these headphones, just to be totally blunt about it. Even comparing them to my $100 Sonys that I was using before, these blow them out of the water. But that's not even the best part about these headphones, because these headphones, not only are they Bluetooth with over 24 hours of active battery life, that's right, 24 hours of active battery life and 20 days of standby life. 20 days of standby life, guys. Seriously, these headphones are awesome. But the Regent is a perfect companion for you at home, on the go, or in the studio. It will connect to any device that has Bluetooth, but there is also an auxiliary cord if you don't want to use the wireless option, obviously, which I'm using right now to podcast. And there is no loss in sound quality. It sounds just as good on Bluetooth or with the auxiliary cable. You can also personalize your Regent with interchangeable caps such as white or black marble. Personally, I love the black marble design. I want to get me some of that real soon. The combination of the high polished metal and matte surfaces embodies the vision of an ultra sleek, ultra modern Scandinavian design. These are beautiful headphones. So if these headphones sound good to you and you want to check them out, definitely do so by going on www.sudio.com. That's SUDIO studio.com. Go on there, check out these headphones. Again, these are the Regent headphones, but they have so many other great headphones that I'm going to be telling you guys about in the future here on the Hodder Show. But these are the ones I am currently using. I love them. If you want to pick yourself up a pair, you can do so. And the best part about it, gang, is you can receive 15% off your order by using the discount code HODDER. That's my name, Hodder, HODDER, in all capitals. You'll get 15% off, and also you'll get free worldwide shipping. Who does not like that? So what are you doing? Stop listening to this podcast. Go on the website right now, pick yourselves up a pair of Studio headphones, and join the revolution. All right, guys, let's say hypothetically here for a second that you have a business, you're in a band, you're a podcaster like me, you have a YouTube show, and you need some awesome new merch, business cards, logos, even maybe some t-shirts done up. Well, you need to look no further than my man, Mr. Jason Reese, over at Jaybird Digital Arts. Jason is offering a special 10% off discount just for listeners of The Hodder Show when you mention The Hodder Show upon contacting him. But what exactly does he do? Well, Jason does t-shirts, posters, album design, tickets, photo manipulation. You guys still with me? Advertising, business stationery, mailers, brochures, fine art, and anything else you can imagine, Jaybird Digital Arts can create it. Jason has done all of the t-shirts, logos, banners, and all social media stuff for both The Hodder Show and for Hodder Guitar Services, so I can promise that you will love and be inspired by what Jason comes up with. You can contact him on the web at www.jaybird, that's Jaybird, digitalarts.com, or you can search for him on Facebook and Instagram under the Jaybird Digital Arts handle. Search hashtag Jaybird Digital Arts for a look at all of his awesome and unique work. The next one we have here is Lois is gearing up to leave Peter. A lot of people have noted a change in tone of Family Guy over the last few seasons, especially the last few seasons. Some have started calling it a sitcom, and others, like Yip 42, go so far to call it a comedic drama. With that in mind, this Reddit user is making a pretty significant what? Who the freak writes these articles? Good Lord, Ranker. Holy shit. Basically, what he is saying, I'm going to have to summarize all these articles. Lois is going to leave Peter. She will leave Peter eventually. He notes that character development over time points to increasing instances where Lois shows marital displeasure. Duh. She has pretty much from day one. This, coupled with the more serialized nature of the show, example, Brian dying and being out for a while, supports his theory that Lois may very well divorce Peter at some point. And then they would... So basically, Lois leaves Peter. Peter probably gets the house. Lois is off something else, doing something else. Maybe she takes the kids. Maybe she just takes Stewie. Who knows? Personally, I could see that happening. I could see that being a development in the show where they're like, what do we do now that's different? Let's break Lois, at least for a while.
Well, they've already taken Lois out of the show for a bit. Like, the Stewie kills Lois.
Yeah, for a couple episodes, they took her out.
Yeah.
And, like, did we miss her?
No.
They didn't really. Like, and that's like when they killed off Brian. Everyone was all up in arms and all pissed off, and people were getting tattoos of him, and that was so funny. So I was like, guys, he's going to come back. Yeah. No, they said he's not coming back. Of course they did.
Stewie has a time machine.
He destroyed his time machine. He'll build a new one. Some people felt so stupid. But then a few episodes later, they like did the whole thing where he wasn't featured in an episode at all, and they didn't say anything until the very end. And the little bubble popped up and was like, people were outraged when we killed off Brian, but you didn't miss him in this episode, did you? And it was like, yes. But I feel like if they were like, you know what, for this season, Lois and Peter are divorced. Or they're in the process of being divorced. And then Peter somehow wins her back and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I could totally see that happen.
I could definitely see it too, just because like what I was saying was like how they're supposed to be like a modern family. How it's... a
modern like Catholic New England family.
And like a lot of families nowadays are ending with divorce anyways, right? And they're becoming so much more common.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see them touching on that subject, because I mean they did with like Cleveland and Loretta, but like it was for infidelity. It wasn't for
just I can't deal with this anymore.
Yeah.
Or we're just drifting apart or whatever.
Yeah.
It was a very because when that happened, still like divorce was common, but not divorcing for like and still being like really good friends and like still a very close family. That wasn't nowadays. That is super common. It's almost, dare I say, almost more common now to not more common. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so back when even when I was in high school. If your parents got divorced, I was like, oh my God, like it was this big thing. And like now it's like,
yeah, I remember I think I was in grade 8. I had like a group, like a group of like 3 main friends, and 3 of our parents were divorced, or sorry, 3 other friends, sorry. And like 3 of us had parents that were divorced. And then we used to make fun of the kids that's parents were still together.
Freaking normies.
Haha, your parents still love each other.
What? Oh God. And that's finding the humor in it, folks. Finding the humor.
Exactly.
So like I could totally see this happening. I really could.
Yeah.
Like
I'm gonna say true for that.
I'm gonna say true too. Yeah. I can really see this happening. I feel like it wouldn't be a permanent thing.
No, and I feel like when they do it, Peter's gonna do like the most outrageous stuff too, like way more than usual.
Able to, like tone it down for him.
Exactly. I don't know.
And then like eventually, like Peter's gonna like basically realize like I can't live without Lois. You know, the house will be a mess and everything will be all over the top.
I could actually see it right now, like just like the living room and it being like a mess, and like you just see like Stewie walk down the stairs, go into the mess, and then you just see a bunch of like rustling, and then like
Peter just pops up,
or even like Peter walks in through like the kitchen or something, and is like, Stewie, Stewie, where are you? Oh, Dad, I'm over here.
Yeah. Well,
Where? And they're like, it's like a bubble pit or something. I could definitely see that.
I could totally see it happening, and that'd be like the last episode where they're finally like, okay, but like I feel like it'd be funny if they like progressively made it messier. Like it wasn't like over the top. It was like first episode, there's like some cans on the floor. Next episode, there's like dust on the TV and stuff, and like it progresses to the point where it's like everything is shit. Peter has like a bunch of stains on his clothes, and like because he can't adult without Lois. I feel I could totally see it. I could totally see it happening, but then it like he has this big romantic gesture and he wins her back, blah blah blah. So I'm gonna go with true for that one as well.
Or maybe Stewie will tell him about the time machine.
He can go back in time and
Fix it.
what he screwed up and treat Lois better throughout the whole entirety of the show, and then they start fresh.
Yeah, because there was one episode similar to that where I think where
Stewie goes back in Chap Stewie. He goes back in time to so that he's not born, and then he's born into a British family who are miserable and hate him.
Yeah,
and he's too stupid to deal with them.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
He's a griffin.
Yeah,
and he goes back in time to break them up, and like makes Lois think that Peter's cheating on him. Where are you gonna go? You got nothing and nobody. And then a donkey rolls up in a car with a sign that says Hollywood. Peter's like, I might go west. So good. Yeah. And then he ends up saving their marriage and blah, blah, blah. But it could totally happen. I could totally see it happening. I really could. This one as well, our next one, I just 100% think it's true before I even get into it. Peter finances his antics with Stewie's earnings as a model. So this one is actually like, I totally believe it. Lurkin_DM explains how Peter manages to purchase customized vehicles of all sorts, like the Peter Copter or the Peterang, or the Hendon Peter, which might be my favorite one. Ever since season 2, Stewie has been making bank as a Calvin Klein model. If you guys remember, in the episode, A Picture is Worth 1,000 Words, where Chris sells his painting to that guy and he tries to make him an artist. And at the end of it, the guy finds Stewie and he's like, I must have you for my ad campaign. So basically, Stewie is earning.
And then as the credits are rolling, it's the
it's Stewie. Yes, you like that, don't you?
Yeah.
yes. And so Stewie's making all this money as a model for Calvin Klein. And that's how Peter and the family would be very wealthy if it wasn't for the fact that Peter buys all these vehicles and all this bullshit.
And I mean, like, how often is he at the Clam, right?
Literally every time we see Peter, he's at the Clam.
Exactly.
So it would totally make sense. But then also, you brought up the point that he was also the peanut butter kid.
Yes.
So how much money did he make from that?
Exactly.
Probably a little bit of money. And then people would say, oh, well, TJ, if you remember in that episode, they bought a new fridge and they did all this other stuff. But there's no way they spent all that money.
Yeah.
They probably made more money off that.
Mm-hmm. So
I feel like this is totally plausible. Mm-hmm. Like 100%.
And that also makes a bit more sense with when they have to, or when Stewie's making the time machine, or not making it, but when he has to go get like uranium, it makes sense why he can buy uranium. Yeah.
Because he has all this money.
Yeah.
Because he goes to his dealer who's
a snake charmer.
Yeah, he's a snake charmer. Oh man. What was the one joke he makes that made me so happy? Oh, it's a bad joke, but I'm gonna tell anyway. He's just like, hey, how's it hanging? Not so good. You know, my son did a suicide. My son did a car bombing. Oh no, that's terrible. Yeah, that's not even like. Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. That's not even the worst part. What's the worst part? He bored my car, and then he and the snake comes up and dances. So good, so bad.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's totally plausible. I really do. So I'm gonna go with true.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with true for that one too.
Now the next one. This one's another one that's interesting but kind of silly. Meta Brian is the writer of Family Guy. So in this total fifth wall breaking argument, Reddit user Rafi argues that Brian is writing all of the events of Family Guy, which explains why he is often painted as the voice of Reason. Reason. It also
Regent
of Regent, the studio Regent. Just kidding. It also explains why episodes that don't include him, that include the entire cast, so episodes that don't always include the entire cast include him per se. So like Brian Stewie's Excellent Adventures. Rafi even proffers a series final in which Brian goes to Fox to pitch his show idea. I'm going to go with no.
Yeah,
because I poke a hole in his thing, in his plot with that, because there are episodes where Brian's not involved.
Exactly. And I feel like maybe it's like the episode what you were talking about after he died, and even when he died.
Why would he write his own death in and then unwrite his death in? That doesn't
You
make
know
any
how
sense.
unlucky that is?
Yeah. That's so bad.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. I feel like that wouldn't work, and I don't know. I just feel like
I'm not a fan of that.
I mean, it again. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence because I just thought of like the way that everyone talks about like faster than the speed of love.
yeah, it's so bad.
It's so bad and so over the top. So maybe that could kind of make sense
As to why Family Guy is his ultimate masterpiece.
Yeah.
But then also he writes Faster Than the Speed of Love. I'm not Faster Than the Speed of Love. What I Learned on Jefferson Street, that script, and it's apparently really good. It's like life changing for Lois. But then he says out at the last minute,
And then what was the other book that he
Wish It, Want It, Do It.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I knew that so quickly.
Yeah.
Which is a self-help book, and it's just so ridiculous. Well, that's why half the pages are blank. You have to write your own hopes and dreams. It's like, what? First page, write 10 things you want to achieve in life. And there's like 4 blank pages. But anyway, I feel like it's a little ridiculous, but I could see it.
Yeah, but I don't think it's true.
I don't think it's true either, but I could see it, but we're going to go with false. Now, this one here's another one that's really interesting. Family Guy is a TV show within a TV show. There are actual compelling theories on this. Some argue that Family Guy is a TV show within American Dad, within the American Dad universe. Others argue that while reverse, they still contend that they're a TV show within each other. Like, they're both a TV show within each other's TV show. That's a little ridiculous for me. Redditor, and I love this name so much, Grandmaster Sexay. Brandon will pop for that. Grandmaster Sexay was a wrestler in the 90s. Kind of argues the last, that Family Guy is indeed a TV show, but it's within a TV show. The fuck does this say? Family Guy has always been a TV show within a TV show, but American Dad became such over time. His best evidence is an American Dad episode where Stan lists his favorite fictional dogs, one of whom is Brian, which he does do that. Not to mention season 15, episode 4, Inside Family Guy, in which the audience gets to look behind the scenes at the actors who play the Griffins as they go about their weekly stuff. There's also a scene in American Dad where they cut filming to celebrate the 1000th vagina joke, which is freaking hilarious. But basically the arguments that he's saying is because they do jokes like that, they're shows within shows.
Yeah, there's also, I don't know. Then there's also like when Stewie and Brian do break into the CIA.
Yeah, and it's Stan and
Bullock.
Director, the hell's his Avery Bullock, but like it's director something. Directors. Is it just Director Bullock?
Yeah.
Executive Director Bullock.
Yeah. And then there's also, that kind of makes sense with the Family Guy being a TV show within itself. During, I think it's the first time travel episode, they go back in time and it's the very first episode.
Yes.
And they look inside the house and you just see them cut for a gag. And they're just standing there, just blank face.
What's wrong with them? I know we're not supposed to mess with, like, should we like call an ambulance? And that was like the time I had this. They're setting up fucking cutaways. And maybe somebody was just like, I love how freely they swear now too in the new season. It makes me so happy.
Just like when Peter falls down the stairs.
Fuck, fucking cock, fuck. Wait, hang on. Hold, please. Continue holding. You'll keep holding. I have a lot of pictures in my phone. I swear the payoff will be worth it. Oh my God, where is it? Oh my God, I deleted it, didn't I? Oh, jeez. I had a video of that I was going to play, and then it would have been funny. But yeah, sorry, guys. I totally shit the bed on that.
Thank you for holding.
Thank you for holding. Welcome back to the show. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Family Guy being a TV show within the American Dad universe is funnier to me.
Mm-hmm. I don't see it. I don't see American Dad being
I don't either. Because, like, yeah, there's all this over-the-top shit that happens, but, like, Stan Smith is a totally regular, over-the-top Republican to me. Like, to me, he's not so over-the-top like Peter, where, like, there's no way this person actually exists.
And, like, I feel like the American Dad characters are a bit more, I don't want to say relatable, but, like,
Yeah.
they seem a bit more real because, like, with, like, Chris and Peter, there's no way that they can be that dumb. You know what I
Especially
mean?
Peter.
Yeah.
How would he make it through life to this point being so stupid?
And then Stewie having a British accent, and then later on a lisp.
Just a gay lisp or whatever.
Yeah. And then Brian being, I mean, I guess with Klaus being able to talk, but like Brian being able to talk, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's and there's another thing we're going to talk about that does touch on that.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. If it's true, I think Family Guy is a show within the American Dad universe.
Yeah. I don't think it would be the opposite way around.
No, I don't think so either. So we'll say maybe,
Yeah.
but it has to be that way if it's true.
So that would make Handy Quacks a show within a show.
Within a show.
Show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A show within a show within a show.
Yeah.
Because wow. That's too much for me. Or same with Steel Vaginas is a movie within a show within a show within a show. This is a podcast within a podcast within a podcast. No. But anyway, Family Guy has grown progressively darker for a reason. Now this one's just kind of silly because they don't really have a point, but it kind of is still an interesting theory. Dark Rabbit 713 basically talks about the increasingly dark tone of Family Guy. He breaks down such characters and their haunting experiences and argues that this community of tragic souls flushes out over time until fans are left with a dark reality. I'm going to put my phone down now because I'm not reading those articles anymore. Basically, what this person is saying is that because the world around us, unfortunately, is getting darker, like, fucked up shit happens all the time. It's just kind of unfortunate reality. Family Guy is also progressively growing darker. And the reason why is because all this messed up stuff keeps happening in the show. I don't think it's growing darker over time because of that reason in particular. I think it's just they're a modern family, like you've said. Like they're your modern day, Catholic New England family. And nowadays in the world, all this messed up stuff happens. So it obviously is going to have to affect the writing on the show as well. It wouldn't make sense if it did.
Exactly. They have to, because if they have to keep it just as dark as like the world around us is, because then it seems more relatable.
Real and relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. I don't know. I see that it's, I don't think that his theory is true, but I definitely see the show getting
For sure.
progressively darker. Because I remember, well, like even like the first season, it's a lot lighter and like,
Yeah. More just silly, over the top comedy.
and it's kind of funny how like the colors have also, or they started off really, really dark and they progressively got lighter.
Yeah. It's almost like the tone of the show visually is lighter and more like fun, but then like the content is darker.
Mm-hmm.
So I totally get what this person's saying. I don't think that his theory is true of the reason why it's so darker because of all the messed up stuff that's happened to them. But I definitely think that it's grown darker for the reason of just what's going on in the world around us. I'm glad we're on the same page with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting that we haven't really disagreed with anything. Like we're both just like, yep. Like
Yeah.
which is, I mean, that's why I wanted to do this with you because I knew we were on the same page with it. Now this one's really interesting. Talking about Klaus earlier. Brian is intelligent because he's a human in a dog body. So basically what this, actually a writer from What Culture, talks about that Brian is smarter than your average dog. I would say way smarter because he can talk and drive a car because the CIA inserted a human mind into his canine body. Remember that with this theory, Family Guy is set in the same universe as American Dad. So this is totally could happen. In American Dad, the talking goldfish Klaus is actually a German athlete who had his brain swapped with a fish by the CIA because they didn't want him to beat America in the Olympics. So they just never switched him back because now he knows too much.
Yeah, and then there was also the koala in American Dad.
Yeah. So basically, why wouldn't they do this in the animated universe in which, oh, well, we have this dog. How can we make a smart character in the show? Hey, why don't we do what the CIA does all the time and put a human mind in a dog? And it'd be hilarious. And he'd be this really smart professor. But then as time goes on, he gets stupider. Because he's repressing the memories of him actually being a human.
Maybe that's why he drinks so much.
Yeah.
Because I've also noticed that he drinks a lot more as the show goes on.
Because he's repressing memories.
Yeah.
Because he knows it's true, but he doesn't want to admit it to himself.
Yeah.
We just made our own theory basically right there.
Yeah.
But true or false?
I'm going to say true.
I'm going to say true as well.
Yeah. I feel like it's more so proven that the CIA did that.
Yeah.
And it's set in the same universe no matter what, because you've seen the different characters. You've heard mention of the characters in the other shows. So I feel like it's 100% true. I don't even think that it's a theory at that point.
I think it's just true.
Yeah. As soon as the first mention of American Dad and Family Guy, or Family Guy and American Dad, as soon as they intertwined, it was
done. Yeah, they're in the same universe. And so was The Simpsons, by the way. It's all in the same universe.
Really?
Crossover episode. And also Roger has been on The Simpsons as well.
Yeah.
I don't remember what episode, but it was that the aliens were there and then Roger comes out and asks them a question. We met at summer camp.
There's also the "We don't want you in our town anymore, Simpson."
Yeah.
Dope.
We don't love you like we did in the... No. And as for you, OJ.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're going to go with true with that one.
I forgot that the Simpsons were in the same universe.
Yeah, which that's a whole other discussion because, what did they steal from the Simpsons? Blah, blah, blah. Now is the Simpsons stealing from Family Guy? Which I totally think they are now. Have you seen new episodes of The Simpsons lately? The last 2 seasons?
No, I'm not a big fan of The Simpsons, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I'm more of a fan of Family Guy. Ed is a huge Simpsons guy.
I was a huge Simpsons guy.
You can literally, if you ever want to do a conspiracy theory thing, anything
I'm going to have to now with him.
anything before season 20, he will know.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He quotes it all the time. Even Connor Ricketts, he also knows it the back of his hand. They'll actually make Simpsons references all the time. And okay, a little bit of a feature for you, because what you were saying, or what you said before we were recording and you hit record, we had an idea of having a Simpsons themed album and calling it "That's a Paddlin'."
Yes. That makes me so happy. That's a paddling. Looking at my sandals.
On hold.
That's
on
a
hold.
paddling.
On hold.
I'll
on
stall.
Hold, on
so
hold.
basically, for those of you who are not familiar, I'll just jump in this for a quick second. John is in. Oh my God. What the fuck is this? So John just passed me his phone. It is a picture of, the hell's the guy's name? Jasper. And it's a magic card. And it is the paddle, a legendary artifact. At the start of your turn, roll a 6-sided die. If you roll run through 5, that's a paddling. If you roll a 6, you better believe that's a paddling. Oh, that's so good. That makes me so happy. Would that be the album cover? No. Or would it be them bending you over a table paddling you?
We don't know yet. It was literally just a random idea we had.
You should definitely, even just a 1-song single or something, you should do that.
Yeah.
I'll fund it myself. And
call it "That's a Paddlin'."
That's a paddling. And the song has nothing to do with paddling. It's just this great song and it's nothing to do with it. But yeah, for those of you who are not familiar, John's talking about his band Nothing Serious. Check them out. They're awesome. Yay. I don't know if I want to talk about it too much. Okay, well we'll just another time when you're on, we'll talk about it. But so yeah, Brian, human in dog body. We think it's true. Pre-cancellation and post-cancellation are different universes. This one's apparently really popular. I didn't know that. But basically, I'm not even going to try and say this user writer's name. People need to calm down. They have a flawless explanation for why the first 3 seasons of Family Guy are bad and weird, which I disagree. I think they're great. I don't think they're their best seasons, but I definitely think they're still very good seasons. And that's the fact that they're 2 different universes. Talking about the different characters, mainly Meg. Mm-hmm. How in that universe, Meg is actually loved by her parents.
Yeah, and also because who was the old voice actor for Meg?
I have no idea, but she missed a huge opportunity.
Yeah, I know that because she did season 1 and season 2, right?
Yeah, then I think season 3 they changed.
To Mila Kunis, yeah.
Maybe even season 2, I think.
Maybe. No, I think it was season 3.
Yeah, season 3.
It would make sense if it was pre-cancellation and post-cancellation, though. But like, it was canceled at the end of season 3, right?
I think it was season 2. No, 3. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So I was gonna say that would make sense that maybe Meg is 2 different. Meg is Ron.
Yeah, and
in post-cancellation.
Yeah.
And in pre-cancellation, she's Meg.
Oh.
Meg died during the cancellation. They adopted a boy named Ron, and they made him Meg.
Holy
and
shit.
then when he becomes 18, he has nothing to do with his parents anymore.
He becomes
Ron again.
That's why Meg is so hideous and ugly, and they actually hate her. Shut up, Meg.
Exactly, because they love her in season 1 and 2.
But now she's dead, and they replaced her so that no one would question it. Yo, that is a really good theory you just thought of.
Yeah,
and I think that's true.
I was so glad that I got that on this
on recording
because I would have forgotten about it. And
that is intense because I'm gonna go with true. I'm gonna go with true that I think they're different universes.
Yeah,
just because of what you just said. Screw what the rest of this article.
Yeah,
said.
Exactly. I was kind of not really believing it, and then as soon as I thought of that, I was like, ooh.
That's how conspiracy theories start, folks.
Yeah.
We're going to have to publish that. Well, you can publish it.
Yeah.
Damn, I need a blog on Podbeard Network and we can talk about it. That'd be good. John's conspiracy theories. Guys. TJ from the Hodder show and Hodder from Two Guys in the Game are actually the same person.
What? Have you ever noticed that the drummer of Nirvana looks exactly like the singer of the Foo Fighters? And you've never seen them in the same room at the same time.
Holy shit. Haha. Anyway, as we are getting ready to wind down on our list here, we have a couple more for you. And this one, I really like this one. This one's really funny. Susie Swanson is Avery Bullock. It is well established, as we've talked about, that American Dad and Family Guy exist in the same universe. It is also established that little Susie Swanson's inner monologue are voiced by Patrick Stewart, who also voices Avery Bullock, and who does an amazing job at it, by the way. That's just a funny subversion of it, right? Wrong. In American Dad, the CIA has a device that allows a person to remotely control an avatar of any shape and size. In Virtual Insanity, Bullock does indeed have an avatar, a baby. He utilizes this avatar for nutritional purposes. And Redditor T. Cromps takes this a step further and theorizes Joe and Bonnie's daughter Susie is one of Bullock's avatars. So basically, and that's why Susie doesn't talk. It's all in her head. Because it's Bullock going, oh, how ghastly. A human centipede. How ghastly. But I have one problem with that theory, as much as I think it could definitely be true. Susie's inner monologues aren't worded the way Avery Bullock is. It's not worded the way that he talks. Because he's very slapsticky at times. And even though he's the director of the CIA and he's all, yes, Don, we have to fill me in on what's going on here and blah, blah, blah. He's still he sleeps with his daughter and he's so slapsticky sometimes that to me, it's just I don't know. I feel like maybe eventually it could. But then if he knew what he was doing, why would he, when Meg is breastfeeding Susie, This feels right, but it tastes like a dirty penny. It doesn't make any sense. So I want to believe it, but I feel like I personally am saying it's false.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, like, I did believe it until what you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought of that too. Like,
Yeah,
I'm like,
because that was one of the ones that we were talking about prior to recording, and you didn't mention that. So
I didn't even think of that till now.
Yeah.
See, I have my best thoughts on audio.
yeah,
So I'm gonna go false with that one.
yeah,
I think I'll go false with that one. This one is really interesting, and it's been debated a lot. I do not like the example this person uses because it was a gag, but we'll talk about
Oh, yeah.
that. And that was, there was another Griffin child who died.
Dun, dun, dun.
Although deleted, Reddit user... Okay, so this also was deleted, which that makes me question it even more. Reddit user denigrates his... I thought that was his name. Sorry. Basically, this Reddit user has his own argument that Peter and Lois actually had a son who died. It's somewhat convincing, and there are comments along that points out a bunch of different stuff, which basically we do talk about. The user points out that Peter explicitly states they had a son who died, even though it's in a gag. This doesn't change the fact that in the comments, people are basically saying this one thing, there is a throwaway gag that depicts them having another child. That gag is, it cuts to Stewie and Lois crying at a funeral. I don't know if they were crying at a funeral. Were they? No, they were just at their table, and Lois is crying. He's like, well, I thought if I just kept shaking him, he'd eventually stop crying. I was kind of right.
Yeah, like they didn't mention that one, and that makes so much more sense. Like the one that they actually use is it's when the Griffins become rich, and
I'm gonna get flagged for this, but I don't care. I'm gonna play it anyway.
okay,
You guys will hear because there's actually a video of it. Hold, please.
Chris, Meg, now that I'm a rich father, you will try to impress me and I will remain distant. Go.
Say, Dad, did I tell you I got second place in the yacht race?
Sounds like somebody's dad is happier than me right now.
Well, how about this, Dad? The school paper's doing a story about me.
That's because I had it arranged.
I was thinking about joining the army?
No. Meg, as a girl, your life holds no merit. And Chris, try as you may, you will never be as good as your older brother who died. He was good at sports and talking. Now, pardon me while I look at Scrimshaw through a magnifying.
I'm turning off now. But yeah, so people are like, oh, that proves that they had another kid. And I'm kind of like, that was a complete throwaway gag.
yeah,
I don't think that didn't mean anything, but
they definitely hint at it throughout the show.
they do. There's a couple other moments I know I'm forgetting. So if you're listening right now and you know the moments, comment and let me know. But I definitely feel like that's very plausible. I feel like that was totally a thing because, like, it would explain why. Because I remember even thinking about this the other day. That would explain why Lois like has this like dark streak where she like does drugs and where'd you get that too? I don't know, Peter. Meth is a hell of a drug. It's like, wait, Lois does meth? Lois does all these drugs and has this really dark background. What if Lois in her dark background had another kid? And Peter didn't like the kid, so Peter killed the kid. And Peter is suppressing it because he's such a messed up human being.
Maybe that's why he does such outrageous stuff.
Yeah, because he's suppressing the fact that he killed someone.
Or maybe that's what caused Lois to commit suicide, and Peter has it all going on in his mind. I'm pretty sure we said false to that one, but now going back to
we're
it,
like, wait a minute. This is too intense of a thought process for me.
yeah,
But that's some like next level conspiracy theorist shit right there for me.
maybe they never had Peter or fucking
Stewie.
Stewie. Maybe they didn't have Meg and Chris. They only had the other one, and
Craig, we'll call him.
Craig.
We'll call him John because I think that's funnier.
But yeah, maybe they only had the one kid, and because I know that any parent will go through a lot of like depression and
Of
things.
course, yeah.
After a kid being killed, right? So maybe Lois committed suicide after that.
And then her kids died in a car accident. Even with that theory, let's say that theory is true.
Yeah.
Then if they died in a car accident, I mean, that would send anyone over the top. You have a son who died, you have your 2 kids who die, and then you just go, fuck it.
I'm just, yeah.
As horrible that is, and there's never a way out for anyone listening. You know, that's a horrible thought, but in an alternate timeline, true. I'm going to say true, because I feel like it's all in Peter's head was false. But I feel like this one could be true.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
We'll just need to hold the podcast to discuss that one theory, because that's so much. Like that's like too much thought process to go over in a few minutes. But yeah, that one's in the normal Family Guy timeline. I'm going to say false, but could be true. I'm going to say maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe with more discussion.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, shit. That is that's like too much to even.
I'm gonna rewatch the entire series. I'm gonna take points, and I'm gonna listen
You'll-
for things
yeah.
that they. Yeah.
You'll come back and like we'll do this We'll do some investigative reporting and get back to you guys. Next time I have you on, like next week, I'll like be like, hey man, so, no. Next time you're here, I'll be like, by the way, we're here to talk about this specific topic, but so that's interesting. So the second last one we have here is another one that's kind of interesting. We did touch on earlier, and I believe it now. It's that Brian's substance abuse issues are a reflection of the de-evolution of his character. Uber confident Reddit user, again, I love this name, Grandmaster Sexay, makes a rather compelling argument that over time, Brian's alcoholism has morphed his character, just as the disease does in its victims in real life. He argues that Brian becomes dumber over time because he has his wires crossed, referring to the degenerating effects that alcoholism has on the brain. So basically, and then he goes on to insult people. I don't know what this person's talking about. But basically, we were touching on this earlier, how when we were talking about if Brian is actually a human in a dog's body, he is suppressing his memories of being a human. And he's like, what's wrong with me? I'm crazy. So he starts drinking to dull the pain, and he becomes dumber. And then he just forgets all about it.
I'm not sure if he'd become dumber though, because the first book that he was, when we were talking about like the stuff that he was writing and stuff, faster than
Speed of Love.
Yeah, it's the worst thing that
ever
he's
written.
ever. Yeah, and then he writes "Wish It, Want It, Do It,"
And it sells
and
thousands of
what I learned
copies.
on.
Well, what I learned on actually, this is interesting. What I learned on Jefferson Street, he wrote years before.
Oh yeah,
And it was like amazing. So then he wrote Fast and the Speed of Love. It's shit. He wrote Wish It, Want to Do It, who it ended up being shit, even though it sold a lot of copies. But then he also wrote his play. That's the name I'm drawing. Oh, A Passing Fancy. And it's like, well, it's like renowned by everyone in town. But then once real playwrights see it, they say it's rubbish. So it's a compelling argument. Like, is Brian really getting dumber over time? Then he creates his fantasy universe when he's on those pills. And like, there's all this evidence that, I don't know why I'm swaying back and forth like this when I'm saying this. I'm like swaying. But like, there is evidence that shows to me that Brian is getting dumber.
Yeah.
But then there's the episode where you find out he has a tumor and he's really dumb. And they're like, oh, well, if we remove this tumor, you'll be smart again. And like, maybe the tumor is a side effect from him being, you look like you're going to jump. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
my God,
No, that character always reminds me, like when Brian has the tumor and he starts acting like a douche. Kind of reminds me of the American Dad episode where I think Steve starts drinking or like does drugs, and he's like, I'm gonna go get some za and something else, and he's like, I'm too cool to say the first part of the word now,
He
or
just
something like
walks
that.
away.
Then it was like, it's gonna bother me something because it's pizza and something, and like he's like, I'm gonna go get some za or Lonza or something like that. Oh, but that character, like whenever I watch that episode of Family Guy or that episode of American Dad, I always think of like how close together those characters are.
Holy shit. Okay, this is too much for me. Maybe Steve is Brian.
Well,
Brian is adult Steve. But then they're in the same universe and Steve is a character while Brian is. So it doesn't make any sense. Never mind if you guys say anything.
but that would also make sense why Brian is Stan's favorite fictional dog,
Holy shit.
because
Is Steve actually his son?
the CIA also have avatars,
Holy shit.
and you've never seen Steve and Brian in the same room.
Yes. So we just created our own fan theory.
Cool. So
Steve
that's
is
two?
Brian is Steve's avatar.
Huh.
That is intense as shit right there. That's some intense thought process. So is that maybe why Brian becomes stupid over time and drinks more, because Steve gets bored and wants to make him drink? He's a dog. Let's make him an alcoholic. I don't know. This person's reasoning I disagree with.
Didn't he just start insulting people? Or?
Yeah, then he started calling people progressive bitches, and I don't know what the hell he's talking about. But I think Grandmaster Sexay has some like shit he needs to work on, like deep down inside. But yeah, I agree and disagree. I'm gonna say false in the sense of the reasoning behind why his substance abuse problems are becoming worse. I definitely agree that there has been a de-evolution in Brian's intelligence over time, but I don't think it's because of anything in particular.
Yeah.
I think it's just writing. Brian couldn't stay the character he is. Neither could Stewie. They had to change.
Exactly, and especially since I remember, I think it was in like the 100th episode when Seth was actually talking about how he would have never paired.
Yeah, Stewie with Brian.
Exactly, and then they did like the road. I think it was Road to Europe first.
Road to Rhode Island.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. It was.
We're off on the road to Rhode Island. Yeah. I know Family Guy way too much.
Yeah. And then so he put those two together for that episode,
And it seems so obvious.
Yeah. And yeah. So
To the point where the one episode where they were locked in the bank vault for the 150th episode, and it was just the two of them, one scene, one like area. It was just them. No gags, no cutaways, just them.
Brian, do you want to pierce my ear?
Such a good episode. I love that episode so much. But Brian shows a lot of like integrity and intelligence in that episode. So maybe he isn't the evolution. I don't know. But then it gets really dark where he talks about like killing himself and like just knowing there's a way out makes me feel better. And Stewie's like, Jesus Christ, like what the hell?
So I just thought of something.
Oh God.
So Brian can't be a human. No, like he can't have like a human's mind in him because he went to go see his mom in that one episode on the farm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he was born with that.
Yeah.
Which one were you again? I was the one who could talk. Brian.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
So I think we just debunked it.
We just debunked all the theories we had. Okay. Well, okay. That's good debunking. Want to start a conspiracy theory podcast and we can like talk about
Sure.
Cool. All right, cool. But yeah, I think we just debunked that one, so we're gonna go false.
Yeah.
So the last one we have for you here today, guys, I think is definitely an interesting one. I think it's the most interesting one, actually. And that is Family Guy is Stewie's interpretation of the world. Reddit user, and I love this name so much. Fornification. Because just I fornicate wouldn't be smart enough. Makes an interesting argument for why some people can understand Stewie and why some can't. Because the entire show is a manifestation of Stewie's perception of the world, i.e. how an infant sees the world and tries to understand it from his limited knowledge. So that's why, some shenanigans and stuff like that are so exaggerated, like the chicken fights. They're so over the top and ridiculous because Stewie is a baby. And he pictures, oh my God, a fist fight's going to be like this. And when he fights, when he gets in fights with people, they're so over the top.
Like when
Even though
him
he's a
and
baby.
what was his half?
Penelope.
No, his half brother.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Bertram.
I was gonna say Wernstrom,
Bertram.
but
Close enough.
Wernstrom's from Family or Futurama.
Bergstrom.
Yeah.
Bernstrom.
Yeah, when they have their playground war and they
and it's
use
like this really over the.
they use chemical warfare.
Yeah.
And you said no chemical warfare. You swore on the seesaw.
It's so over the top. And one of his most compelling points is the fact that he points out Brian has the ability to talk, and Stewie can understand him. So can the rest of the family. But then some people can't understand Stewie, and some things don't make sense to Stewie, which is why sometimes nothing makes sense on the show. It's an interesting thought. And it's not like they're saying, oh, it's this alternate universe. No, it's just Family Guy is Stewie's perception of the world. But then if Stewie isn't there for something, how would he know what happened?
Maybe it's Stu from the future
Holy fuck.
telling.
Telling his therapist about what happened.
Maybe.
That's why he's so messed up.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That is a
he
very
would have
intense thought process.
Because you would think that some of the stuff that were to happen that he wouldn't be there for, he'd find out about it eventually growing up.
He'd be told about it or something when he was growing up.
Like Quagmire sleeping with Loretta.
Yeah.
And Brian dying was it was a huge impact on Stewie. So
They got him another dog named Vinny.
Yeah.
Who was a pussy hound. I love that. But yeah, I feel like what you're saying is it's Stu's recollection of what happened from his point of view. And that's why some stuff is so over the top, because he's so his mind is so warped from being told by Peter what actually happened. It's Peter telling Stu about what happened.
And then partially stuff that he remembered. I don't know.
But he remembers it being really over the top, obviously.
Yeah.
That's actually, I think we just made sense of that.
Yeah.
It's literally Stu as an adult telling someone about what happened. I think that makes sense.
Or maybe him telling a story in jail after the sexual harassment thing or the workplace harassment thing that he had to go through.
Oh, yeah.
From sleeping with his coworker with Fran.
I feel like there's actually some merit to that. I feel like that could actually be a thing.
I feel like they wouldn't have just added that for no reason. Like that episode where they go to the future. I feel like they wouldn't add it for no reason.
This is a throwaway episode.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something going on there.
Yeah. Now 2 of the theories are based around that episode.
Yeah.
The Ron one and then this one.
Yeah.
So
I like that. I think that's plausible. I think you're onto something. Detective. What are we gonna call you? You need a fun name. Detective Balzac. No. I don't know. I'm not very smart right now.
Detective Swanson.
Detective Swanson.
This Detective Tick.
Detective Tick. But I think we're gonna call true on that.
Yeah.
But but we're changing it a bit, saying it's Stu retelling his recollections in jail. I like that. I think that's smart. I think that's smart writing on your part. You should be the new writer of Family Guy.
I don't know.
No. I got other shit to do.
It would be so terrible. Literally would get canceled again.
Within the first 2 episodes.
And then I'd just pitch it to Netflix.
Well, I'm gonna pitch a show to Netflix.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm pitching my life to Netflix as a show. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna be played by Channing Tatum. That's gonna be awesome.
Nice.
I'm gonna be a badass. You can be in it. You can play yourself though.
Cool.
Cool. Anyway, so yeah, that's our Family Guy's outrageous fan theories. I think there's definitely some interesting ones on there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If there's anything that we talked about that you want to put your 2 cents in, please contact me on the social media or contact John on social media.
I'm still a admin on the Hodder Show page.
Are you actually?
Yeah,
Did I never?
you never
well,
took
shit.
me off.
Yeah.
So
Well, there you go. So do you get notifications for it all the time?
yeah,
Does it piss you off?
no.
Okay, I'll leave you on that.
It just kind of sucks that I can't. That's why I don't like any of the stuff. Like I don't like hit like on
Oh.
it because if I go to like it, it likes it as the Hodder Show. Because I only do it through my phone.
Oh, you can change it on your phone though.
I don't know how.
I'll show you.
I'm
It's
very
really easy.
on.
I'll show you how. It's really easy, but yeah, that's actually freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
So if you guys message the Hodder Show, John will respond,
Okay.
or I'll respond, or whatever. That's actually freaking hilarious. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Why did I make you admin? Oh yeah, because you
I
did
was
the
selling-
episodes with.
I was selling bases. and
Oh
then-
yeah. So did anyone buy a base?
Yeah, I ended up selling.
Did they use the Hodder Show coupon discount? Ah, buggers. Whatever. You guys missed out on that wicked rocker bass.
Rocker string.
Rocker strings, bro. Haha. We got to do another one of those episodes eventually where you interview me for the Hodder Show
Yeah.
or for Totally Basis Moment. That's another conversation for another time.
Yeah.
But John, thanks very much for coming on, man, doing this with me. Had a lot of fun.
No problem. It
And
was
we
a
will,
lot of fun. So
Oh, for sure. And we will talk to you down the road.
cool.
All right, gang. That was my conversation with Mr. John Ward. Nothing serious, talking about Family Guy fan theories. Hope you enjoyed it. Definitely be sure to hit us up and let us know what you guys thought of what we had to say about those specific theories. Shout outs to Ranker for the list, even though you guys really need to work on your grammar and your, not so much spelling, but your word placement. If that makes any sense. Like, just some of the way they were using certain words. I was like, what the hell are these people saying? But anyway, thank you guys very much for listening to today's podcast. Really means a lot to me. Big shout out again to John. If you want to check John out, you can do so on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. He's got it all. Mr. John Ward, big supporter of the show. The Patreon supporter. He is the man with the plan. And, I mean, he's a pretty good looking cat too. I mean, let's be honest here. Some of the reason I really had him over. Anyway, he also is, of course, part of a wonderful band, Nothing Serious, and they are working on some stuff. So definitely be sure to give them a follow as well. Let them know Hodder shit, you know, give them some support. They are going to be a kick-ass band. Well, they're already a kick-ass band, but once they get some music released and stuff later this year, hopefully, from a little bit of what he was telling me, kind of what was going on. They're going to be working on some stuff later this year. Very excited about that. I'm very excited that you guys tuned in today. Thank you so very much once again, regardless of how you did so. Whether you did on the SoundCloud, on the iTunes, on the Stitcher, on the CastBox, on Podknife, however you did, be sure to give us a follow, give us a subscribe. Leave us a little rating if you can. I always appreciate it. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs down. Whatever you need to do to sleep at night and to enjoy this podcast, definitely be sure you do so. Very much appreciate it. Be sure to share with all your friends. There's a lot of really cool episodes coming up with the Hodder Show. This was one of the cool episodes I talked about last week. I was really excited about this. Next week, I've got a great interview coming at you with a long-time listener, first-time caller in a way of the show. So very excited about that. Once again, guys, if you'd like to contact me anytime for anything, you can do so on the social media, all under The Hodder Show, all one word. You can also contact me anytime at thehoddershow@gmail.com. Check us out on the web, podbeardnetwork.com/The Hodder Show. While you're there, be sure to check out all the great content Podbeard has to offer. A lot of great podcasts and great shows, streaming, YouTube stuff, lots of great stuff. And we are also always looking to expand. So if you are a podcaster, you're someone who has something creative you want to pitch, hit us up, let us know. You know, we are a network of friends first, you know, that, and what Podbeard really is just we share each other's stuff and we support each other that way. There has been a couple sponsors come our way and stuff like that. So, you know, stuff could definitely happen for us in the future. But for now, the number one goal of Podbeard is to spread word and support each other. That's the number one thing we're going for. So if you maybe want to be a part of it, hit us up, let us know. We will always hear what you have to say. I love helping and talking with creators of any kind, you know. I just really love that. That's something I'm really passionate about right now is working with creators if they, you know, so choose to ask for my very humble and very unprofessional and uneducated, you know, opinions and help. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. I'm rambling on. So I will catch you guys next time on The Hodder Show. Take it easy, guys.